What is up, Bearded Nation? Allek from Bearded Collectibles here, coming to you with our Welcome Back. We Are Back podcast. We had a few weeks that we had some technical issues due to hurricane status, due to vacation. But with me tonight, I have an all-star lineup of Tony, the usual. He's our prominent deck builder. We got Matthew Coombs. He just does the top 4 curse for any event he goes to. We got Max, who loves foils, and we have another local, Joshua, who Josh, how do you describe yourself?
I'm not really sure how to answer that one.
Cat enthusiast.
Yeah, cat enthusiast.
All right, you will forever be known as that if you ever come back on the podcast. So a few items we want to talk about. Hurricane Irma. We were lucky here in the Central Florida area. We had locals checking and reporting with me. As a store owner, I was very worried about certain people. Certain people don't live in structured houses. So I was really worried about that. But luckily, everybody made it through. Unfortunately, though, somebody who didn't live or who does live in a structured house kind of lost his house. Josh, that was you, correct?
Yeah, that was me, man. I don't even know how to start that one right now.
But you're safe. That's the most important part. You're safe, and you had cats, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah. Actually, like 7 a.m. the morning after, we went over to my house just to check on everything, and my carport was completely destroyed. My house, the inside of my house, one of the living room ceiling came down, and my bedroom ceiling came down later that day. So,
jeez, yeah, just chaos. There's still a lot of people. Well, sorry, I'm getting my hurricanes mixed up because I'm thinking about family in Puerto Rico.
right.
But Hurricane Irma, everybody's good here in Orlando from a local standpoint, so that's great. That's very good to hear from that. So we want to talk about, we were off for 2 weeks because the hurricane issue, and then we had Nationals, Final Fantasy Nationals, where I saw Max at. Max, you and I faced, what, round 3 or 4?
It was around 3 day one.
Yeah, round 3, and I'm sorry I had to do that to you, but I had to take the W from you. But you still made it to top 64, which I was very proud of. I was very proud of the guy who won the. Wow, his name is escaping me at the moment. The guy who won the win a trip to L.A.
Not
for
Max. That guy, yeah. His name was Wayne.
Wayne, thank you. Sorry, Wayne, if you listen to this. Yeah, I'm so happy, so proud of him. He 14-0'd before he lost in top 8. Very proud of the man. I'm going to talk to him about getting sponsored. It's probably going to be one of my first sponsorships to come. Many more down the road for different games. I guess needs to start building up the Team Bearded brand out there. So Max, what'd you think about that Nationals? Because I have a lot of stuff to talk about that.
Honestly, it's really hard to say because, it was like a roller coaster from start to finish. Like, for the most part, it was pretty solid and everything was great about it. It's just that, it's just all of a sudden, you didn't know what could happen next. It was like literally playing some board game where they roll dice, just something outrageous happens. I think after we got past top 2, day 2 being top 65 and not top 64, I think everything kind of normalized out. Because if you just think about it in the constraints of Sunday was its own tournament with a qualifying trip to Japan, it was kind of a great adventure. You just blank out day 1, where Allek gets this win against me because he plays weird cards in his deck. It was pretty good. It just, look past all that, and everything's pretty solid. And you get to day 2, and you just make it through one time.
I don't know, man. I heard day 1 there was a judge who laid out an opponent's deck in front of his opponent twice.
That happened, and it was right next to me. And, he wasn't even counting to make sure the deck list or anything. He was just counting 6 to make sure there was 50 cards. So
I would have been pissed.
You just take your deck and just fan it out right there, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, no, this is not happening.
Yeah, dude, I would have been pissed about that. I would have been, yeah, I can't believe that happened. I wasn't in the vicinity. I heard about it. I heard about so many other things there. They need to do, hopefully they learn from this experience, come back with something else, have regionals, have multiple events than just a one, because everywhere else they're having multiple events and we're stuck with just one. So I wasn't a fan of that.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to next year because I mean that's gonna make it or break it. Honestly, we got to have some more events for sure.
Yep. Yep. So that's where I saw Max over 2 weekends ago, and then I decided to. My wife and I, she came with me out to L.A. We did the whole seeing trip. Went to see the Hollywood sign. We went around. We ended up in Vegas. Stayed there. I was gonna record the podcast there, guys, but just had shitty signal. It just wasn't gonna work, either in the Wi-Fi or off my cell phone. It was just not happening. So I did what any other person would do when they go to Vegas. It does not include hookers and blow. We went to the casinos and did a few other things, but we had a good time. It was definitely. I haven't taken a vacation in probably a year and a half, and it was definitely well worth the just to disconnect. Now I'm coming back. I have to catch up on orders, catch up on shipping stuff. Max, I still have your cards here. They still haven't shipped, so don't kill me. I know.
Going to Yelp.
Jeez. Nope. So that part is good. So what we saw while I was on vacation, I still was kind of seeing stuff that's happening in the background. Where just the community, the stuff that's been going on, is very interesting because there's. I have a feeling that some of the stuff is because we don't have a proper judge program for the Dragon Ball card game, and also we don't have a proper OP rule structure. Like, for example, one of the topics that I saw was IDs, right? Intentional draws. Guys, how do you guys feel about intentional draws?
I think they're fine. All about it.
Yeah, like really. If it depends on the tournament environment, honestly. I think that's really what you have to judge there. If it's a, I don't know, locals or something like a actual big event like an ARG event. Hey, maybe spoilers, but yeah, it's one of those things where you just got to see what it's like and figure it out from there.
I've never liked IDs in a tournament with like more than 50 people.
Yeah. So why is that?
It doesn't reward variance and consistency. Like it literally just you can profitize to anything that's consistent with like a luck variable to a good deck. You just have, I mean, it makes a clean break for the most part, but when you have like so few spots, especially when it gets like really top heavy, like anything that's over 64 players and you don't do like a top 16 and you allow draws, it's like one of the worst feelings in the world unless like you're just someone who's on fire for the day. There's no one who's just gonna like underdog their way in and crush the tournament.
Sure, I can see that. And what do you think, Matt? I think we may have lost Matt.
Oh no.
Matt, no.
Not like this. There we go.
There he is.
You sound kind of like a robot.
Yeah, he does.
Latency.
It could be that. Are you connected Wi-Fi or direct? You probably didn't hear that.
Yeah, probably. I'll type it out.
So IDs. So I feel like these they should come down from Bandai themselves talking about what the proper, if they're allowed in the game, right? So one of the things that wasn't allowed at the Final Fantasy Nationals was intentional draws, right? Max, I had an issue with that, right? I also had an issue where if I wanted to concede to my opponent, they thought that they said that was wrong and automatically get a game loss. Or if I even say, hey, you want to roll for the win, they didn't like that either. But yet the table overdid it and the judge was totally okay with it. I was so upset about the inconsistency that was happening there that I'm glad I didn't make it in the top 64 because I wasn't a fan of how the judges handled multiple items throughout the day.
I agree with you there completely because like on day 2, I remember seeing something like at table. It was in table 2 at round 4. It was going to get turn 3, and the guy just conceded right there. He's like, I can't win here. And I want to just take the loss from both of us. And both the judges were totally fine with it. But then I remember exactly what happened to you yesterday. And honestly, it does boil down to the fact like it's every judge was different there. Like I don't know to what degree they had individuals for it, and I'm really thankful that we at least had individuals for the event. But like it was definitely there was not a consistency level there, and I think the only thing that's going to fix that is like just growing the crew essentially, which both these new games are facing without like a structured judge program and just kind of starting everything fresh over here. So that did leave a bitter taste in my mouth too. Final Fantasy should not have draws.
Sure, and I agree with that. And they hopefully with both games they build up that OP program, build up the judge program. Hopefully that comes to light soon because as of right now we haven't seen anything from either party yet. We'll talk about this later about the super game that they're talking about judge program, but I haven't seen anything about that either. So we're gonna switch gears a little bit and talk about Dragon Ball FighterZ, the announcements that occurred while the show was offline. I'm intrigued, right? So we saw Yamcha, we saw Tien, and then we saw Android 21.
Yo. 21, man. She's looking like not even gameplay's been shown of her yet, but I'm excited. I'm excited to have a new.
Yeah, a lot of people on the internet are excited. Day 2 afterwards is just.
Yeah, it was crazy to see the amount of images that came out less than 24 hours.
Oh yeah, I mean the internet works fast, man.
So what are you excited most about 21?
I really like the design. It's Toriyama, but I mean it's Toriyama through Arxis, which I love Arxis's character designs.
I thought he supervised. What did he actually create 21, or did he just supervise? Or
as far as I understand, Arxis made the character, and then Toriyama drew her. Like they said, "Hey, this is what she's supposed to look like. Draw her in a Dragon Ball style." But the better part about that is she's just alongside 16, who looks god tier in that game already.
Yeah, he really does. I mean, his one hit KO that could potentially happen, or his super can only happen once per match, I believe. So I'm very excited about that. As soon as that comes out, Bearded is already looking for a bigger place to hold multiple tournaments, including the fight nights. We're going to start doing some video game tournaments there. So I'm really excited about that. Max and Matt. Looks like we lost Matt. He probably dropped to fix his internet issue. We'll love to have you guys down for that one day. I know you're in Jackson. It's only 2.5 hours. You can crash in my place.
I would love to make it down one day. It's definitely on the bucket list for sure, because I still got to see it. And we have to go to that noodle place.
Hodo-Podo.
Yep.
Hodo?
Delicious.
It's so good.
So, Set 2, guys. Set 2 was announced officially with images. We got Majin Buu in red, we got Zamasu in blue, Cell in green, Metal Cooler in yellow, and late editions of Jiren in red, Kel in green, Golden Frieza in blue, and no one's in yellow. So
it's cooler.
No. So the set. So how set 1 they did certain Brawly was green, like certain people in certain colors. So
yeah.
So Meta Cooler's yellow, but then the late editions, they actually added that where it said Jiren was in red, Kale green, the dead Golden Frieza's blue, and then they didn't say who was in yellow. It felt like they were about to say something and then just stopped because they didn't want to leak any information from what's potentially going to happen in the Tournament of Power, which is the anime. If you haven't caught up, by the way, guys, spoiler-free zone, so please try to reserve any of that information. We don't like to talk about spoilers here, so.
I actually prefer
Guys, just watch the
Japanese voice actors a
fine.
lot. I didn't think so at first. Like, I used to strictly just watch dub, but then like I started watching Super, and now I just prefer sub a lot more. Like, I definitely prefer Vegeta's voice actor in sub for sure. And I also like the way that Hit sounds. Basically, a lot of the characters I think sound way better.
Agreed. Welcome back, by the way. Agreed. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. But with the set to images, I know Tony wanted to talk about Babidi, how much he just loves that card.
I think that card's pretty dumb. Yeah, I know he costs, I think it's 6 or 7, but I mean, it's a game ender. You play it with Vegito and just rip whatever you want from the top of your deck.
Has anybody else seen any of the other cards, like, Samasu, Cell, Cooler, anything like that?
Oh, I really want to play Cell, man. That's the deck I've been wanting to see for this game, and just he already looks cool. He looks like really strong already off the bat.
So I'm glad we're getting more cells because obviously we only got the the promo cell, right? That's all we have right now.
Yeah, the promo one that lets you remove a card from the combo when he's in battle.
Is it? I thought it was the first card.
It might be the first card. I haven't read the card in a minute, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I mean, the potential that's going to come out is interesting because these late editions. I wonder, like they say it's late editions, but I'm pretty sure they already knew. Because you can't just go and print boxes and then throw away the boxes to reprint because you have late editions. They knew this already. So I just want to know who's the late edition in yellow. Also, the new rarity of the secret rare. Yeah, that's what it is. Secret rare. Mm-hmm. Very, very interested to see what
like
that
Super
is.
Saiyan Blue.
I think what we're speculating right now is it might be like another Vegito, is what I'm hearing right now. Maybe, yeah, something like that.
Well, that would be. I mean, set 2 looks strong. There's so much stuff in the set 2 meta that I feel may. It looks so strong. I mean, like I remember I was reading just a 16 card, and he seems interesting to play. It's a 3-drop, 15k. Requires 2 green. I believe he has blocker, revenge, and I forget his auto. But when I was reading,
he KOs a battle card, he recovers.
He restands, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure, but I think it might have been like further expanded to once per turn. But I'm not sure. The images are still blurry.
Yeah, and that's so. One of the things that I'm still working on, and I'm probably going to need help, is building this damn database because I think I bit off more than I can chew, guys. I'm probably going to need some help with this. If you have any experience putting together a website, and I have examples, I have the source code. It keeps crashing on me. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Maybe, I have a period or a comma somewhere where I shouldn't, have something commented out. Reach out to me because I need help, so we can have a database so people can save their decks, share out deck lists, because then that'll be so much easier than I guess taking pictures. So
I just live stream my decks. Isn't that cool?
oh god, why you had to say that? So live streams, in my 2 cents, should only be for special events, right? I don't need a live stream every 30 seconds when somebody gets mad or somebody. I just don't need that. Like, we never had that in Retro. We never had that in any other game, any other card game I've been in. I just don't understand.
I know, it was wild.
God, like I just don't understand where this live stream phenomenon came through. Oh.
You
So-
put a mini computer in everybody's hands where they can live stream, and it just kind of goes from there.
Yeah, I guess. So one of the other things we're going to talk about is 1Ks, right? So we know that Anthony popped off a 1K up in New York at a Chinese buffet. I really wish he would have planted it.
It's fine.
Damn you, Cobes. I was trying to make it through that segment without laughing, but I wish he would have planned it better, because guess what, guys? Top 4 had to split. There was no question. They had to split. The place closed. So
Did they
the owner was
split
like, yeah.
crab ragoons?
What was that, Tony?
Did they split crab ragoons?
So here's the issue I have, right? These items or these events should probably be held in somewhere that doesn't really have a curfew per se, because he's running another one again at the same location. What's gonna happen when they only make it to top 8 and you're gonna force top 8 to split? But if they don't, what do you do at that point? Is it a guaranteed 1K? Like, there was questions that were asked. I don't think he gave out the guaranteed 1K, or I don't know if it's pronouncing it or broadcasting it as a guaranteed 1K. But who's the closest? I would say Matt. You're the closest one, right? To New York.
Yeah, I live in Virginia.
Yeah, I mean, would you drive up there for this? Or did I put you on the spot?
Oh, he died again.
No, but I'm not on the spot. Again, you became a robot. But are you talking about for me? You became a robot. Everybody else heard you. Are you just talking about the event, like, in general? Like,
yeah, would you go up to New York, to the Bronx, for this event?
I'm thinking about going to the one that's in November, just because I want to continue playing the game competitively. And an event like that is somewhat close to me, and I do think that doing it in the Chinese buffet is not exactly ideal. I do think it is cool that he's taking the initiative to create tournaments and try and draw interest to having people come up there. Do I think it's the best idea? No, I don't, but who else is coming out there with ideas right now and setting up tournaments on such short notice? So I think for that he does deserve some credit.
I agree with you on that. I agree. What does everyone else think?
Yo, you're
I just
talking about
wanna-
the top 8.
Exactly,
If
man.
the restaurant closes.
Take
Hey,
the
man,
streets.
you can just pull it like Melee and do dumpster tournaments.
No.
Top 8.
What were you gonna say, Max?
I just want to know if entry comes with a plate. Because that could really hinge my interest in that type of event.
I mean, I feel like it's mandatory, honestly. Like, you have to.
Like
You
one
can
time
eat all
here
day, like, the
locally,
whole time you're there.
I tried to get a Whataburger 5K going, and it wasn't going to be like a 5K cash. It was going to be 5K calories, so I don't have to spend like $30. And I had it mapped out pretty good for the calorie count to break down the top 8. And not everybody seemed to be on board, but I put a lot of thought into that because it was kind of aggravating trying to figure out how to split the pick the rate meals. But
Sure.
honestly though, if you have a tournament like that and you want to take the next step, you want to get stuff going in your input, that's awesome. If you don't foresee to have the logistics to cover everything to get a decisive finish like that, maybe you should find somewhere that's going to be nearby. Maybe you should just go to a Steak and Shake or something that's actually open 24/7 that they won't kick you out. Can't tell you how many times it was jammed. Does Wawa
Can't really-
have tables?
Outside they do.
I mean, but there's no Wawa's in New York. Wawa's a New Jersey thing that I'm aware of.
That was Maryland.
I know
Anyway,
Virginia
Steak and
has
Shake,
some, so-
Whataburger, those are open 24/7.
So another issue that I have with him running the next event up there, like I say, I give him props for actually doing it, right? Because I'm still planning one, and logistically it can be a nightmare. You gotta make sure you have space, make sure you have tables, make sure you have numerous factors, maybe including a buffet. I don't know, but there's a lot of logistics when it comes to a few things like getting product and stuff like that. One of the other things I was not a fan of when he posted for people to email him the deck list. when he's playing in the event. This is a perfect example why I don't play my own events for any prizes, because I don't think that's right. If you're hosting the event, I don't think you should play in the event.
Yeah, that's a no-no. I mean, I can understand like a fighting game tournament kind of deal, where it's actually like player skill over deck construction.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a conflict of interest.
So I missed that. I didn't catch that blurb. I didn't know that was the thing. That is kind of ridiculous. I don't know. That's just, to me, outrageous on a lot of levels. I mean, I see no problem with being involved in your event, but like you can't play an event that you are running. It's like,
No, it's at that scale. Like if it's
there's so many lines there.
What are you gonna say, Tony?
100%.
like at that scale, I agree. Like even above like 10, 15 people, you shouldn't be. Like I don't see a problem with it if it's a small event, because like a locals. But when there's money on the line, something like that, you can't. I'm not saying he did that, but if it's emailed to you, you can easily just Google search your opponent's name or Gmail search your opponent's name and see what he's playing. If you have all the deck lists emailed to you.
It just occurred to me, like, is he also getting a cut off the top?
What do you mean, if he wins?
No, like
No, for
off
running the
like,
event.
Sales, ticket sales.
So it's funny that you mentioned that. So he's also selling raffle tickets.
You can't.
For
It's illegal.
That's absolutely
Exactly.
illegal.
It's illegal in New York City to run these, but he's like, guys, don't worry, it'll be okay. And it's like, well, it's illegal. How would it be like?
Yeah, that's the opposite of okay.
That's what
Yeah, that
illegal
feels
means.
funny.
Yeah, that is not
All
okay.
I'm saying, guys, if you're going to this event, be careful, be wary, go to the event. Like I said, I give them props for running, for putting together an event, right? Like I said, I'm still trying to do it. It can be a nightmare, but I have multiple projects on my plate. Just be careful, guys, because it's illegal in New York City. Don't want you guys to get in trouble. I'm not responsible for any liabilities. You're not at my event, so I just, yes, to answer your question, he supposedly, I would assume he's getting cut off the top. So not only is he getting cut off the top, if he enters and wins one of those places, he's also going to get that prize money too. So you see where I have a conflict of interest. He's not technically running the event per se, in reference to, like, he's not judging it, but he's setting everything up. He's putting everything together, requiring deck lists, selling raffle tickets, entering in the event, and then getting money from double dipping. I have an issue with that.
Yeah, that sounds almost illegal.
I think the only things I have significant problems with in all of this is, let's just say your entries go over 1K. If that's not going back in the prize pool, okay, that's pretty crappy, especially if you are the TO and head of it, and you're also going to try and play in this. It'd be one thing if he was just hyping it and someone else was like the hands holding the money, the hands holding the deck list or whatever. Maybe the lines are a little less blurred at that point. I don't even get with that raffle thing. That's outrageous. It's just, I don't know, like, it's great that you want to do stuff for the community. It's just like, I don't know. To me, that's like, I'm screaming internally listening to that. I don't know. I don't got the anxiety medicines for that right now.
Yeah, so one last thing I want to say about this is, like I said, guys, I'm giving props to Anthony. He's running the 1K. This will be a second 1K he's run. I just wanted to bring to everybody's attention that, if you're going to this, be careful. Do your due diligence. Have fun, guys. Somebody in the community is trying to do something for the community. Just be careful. Do your due diligence. That's everything else I have to say about that. In reference to the 1K that Beard is going to be doing soon, we're actually going to probably tie in one of the 1Ks into one of these. I want to talk about this later on, but the lottery event. So if we get picked for one of these lottery events, there's two lottery events, right, that came up that I posted today. There's the Series 2 sneak peek event, and in November, I want to say, hopefully I don't get logged out. In November, there is a Dragon Ball Super card game Union Force release tournament. Now, you're probably thinking, cool, it's a release tournament. Well, it's a little bit different. It includes trophies. It includes alt art for winners from 1 through 8. and it includes participation prizes, right? And you're like, cool, that sounds like your typical tournament. Well, here's something you don't know. They gave us the option to register as 64 people or 128. Tony and Josh, who have been to my store, there's no way I can hold 64 people in my store. Unless I get the new place before November, there's no way. So I'm probably going to turn this into a 1K to run this because it looks pretty intense. Oh, also, people are supposed to be getting participation packs, new tournament packs for the second set. So it's interesting to see what will happen with this. So hopefully I'm picked. I put the information out there so that other people can register for it as well. Because, if I know this information, I don't think it's fair that I just sit on it. I have to share the information out to the community so it gives people equal opportunity to try to get this for one of their local stores, one of their LGSs. Because, like I say, guys, always support your LGS. Otherwise, support the beard. That's just the motto that we go with at Bearded. Guys, what do you guys think about one of these events possibly turning to a 1K? Let's start with Tony.
All right, that'd be awesome. I would like to see a big event in our area. We have a lot of players locally, not just at our store, but the surrounding areas. It'd be good, and it would also get the name out there because a lot of people, get their friends into it when they start seeing big events like that. I think that's kind of why Final Fantasy isn't really popping off because there's not the tournament scene. And then,
go ahead.
I was saying Bandai, they are all about building the tournament scene. They always, when I was playing Naruto, they were always like, let's just do 12 events this year, whatever. 12 wasn't enough, 15. Keep going.
Well, with the Final Fantasy thing, I just feel like the people getting sick and tired of sets continuing to get pushed back because the next set was pushed back, I believe, a month because now they're trying to do a worldwide release so that people don't order from overseas and get the product in the States early. I had to drop it on somebody on Kuzmar at the Final Fantasy Nationals. We were sitting kind of diagonal from each other. And I was like, hey, guess what? What wasn't delayed again? And I told him Super, and he's like, why are you doing me like this? So I thought it was pretty funny because it's really like 4 sets in a row you're going to delay your product. Like, it's really starting to questioning how much further is Bearded going to support Final Fantasy. So, Max, what do you think about that?
I think there's a really messy internal scene going on right now with all of that, and that's just part of the problem. But I mean, honestly, I truly hate that it was pushed back. I am glad, though, that it was pushed back to stop the scalping, but at the same time, since I am affected by it, I hate it. I just wish, everyone, they just wish they had all their ducks together, and then we didn't really have these problems and everything, which is great, but we don't live in fantasy world.
Final Fantasy world.
Josh, I know you don't play Final Fantasy, but what do you think about that?
I mean, I played Force of Will for a while, and it's
all right. You can stop talking now. No,
jeez.
Next caller, please.
Anyway,
Moving right
but
along.
I mean, scummy business practices still kind of worry me about a bunch of card games right now. Force of Will took too long to handle their ban list, and it dropped me off the game. If they pulled something like that, I would have dropped off even sooner. So.
What do you think, Matt? Because you don't play Final Fantasy either, right?
I did during the first 2 sets, but after they announced the way that the format was going to be done for Nationals, and then of course they had the 3rd set that was going to be coming out right before Nationals, I was just off of it because there was just no sign of continued support over in the US that would make me want to play.
You told me you didn't like the hurry up and buy your ticket. The first 200 people get to go.
Yeah, man, I thought that was a great idea. Definitely incentivizes those from across the United States to want to travel to California. So making it 200 people, it kind of just ended up being more of a regional event as opposed to a U.S. Nationals event. So I thought that was kind of garbage.
I agree. But like I said earlier, hopefully they fix that going forward because it's the gameplay. I really enjoy the gameplay. I'm not a big Final Fantasy nerd like I am for Dragon Ball. But I enjoy the gameplay. I enjoy the community to an extent. But I really, really hope that they don't come with any more delays. So, and here leads to the next topic of, going to regionals and nationals. ARG announced that they're going to be supporting Dragon Ball Super with regionals. We all know that ARG is a East Coast company. Jim, sometimes can come across very straightforward, which I really appreciate about him. He's after talking to him at Gen Con, he's a really good guy. I know Max works with him a lot because Max is one of the judges for ARG for the PNZ stuff when we used to do PNC, and I'm assuming he's gonna continue that trend with Super. So I'm really excited to see what Jim's gonna be doing with Super. They already announced they're coming to Orlando, like always. It's really interesting because I think they're gonna come to the Kissimmee Center, but still call it Orlando. Or the Osceola Heritage Parkway. Regardless, I'll make the trip out there just to play. But Tony, man, what do you think about ARG supporting regionals and doing stuff like that? But remember, they're East Coast company, so it leaves the question to a lot of West Coast and Midwest players, or pretty much everything west of the Mississippi. It doesn't sound like they're going to get something, and I don't know.
So the more people that support a game effectively, the better the game's going to get. I mean, one of the reasons Magic is so big is because they themselves do so much for it. And that goes right into why Final Fantasy isn't, because there's not that play support. A lot of people that support games and put a lot of money into it are not casual players. So they need, they got to chase that big prize. That's what I like about games. The reason I play Final Fantasy still so much is because I'm hoping, without a better way to say it, they get their shit together, and I'm just kind of gay for Final Fantasy.
True. Max, I know there's only limited things you can say. If you can't say anything, let us know. But how do you feel about it? Like I said, I'm excited for it.
I'm very excited for it, and I think you should all be very excited for it.
That is fantastic. Thanks, Max. Next caller.
That's right.
I am excited. Thanks, Max.
Josh, what do you think, bud?
Hey man, I've had some issues with ARG in the past with certain ways they handled things. I unfortunately played Yu-Gi-Oh for a time, and when they did their custom band,
man, you're just failing back to back, are we?
Yeah, why are we friends with you?
Huge failure. But yeah, that kind of soured me on the ARG for a little bit, but then I dealt with them with the Force of Will event, and that wasn't bad at all. So I mean, I'm kind of lukewarm on ARG as it sits right now, but I mean, I'm excited to play a Super event with ARG.
Well, I mean, the first time that ARG did a Pansy event here in Orlando, it left a lot of bad taste in people's mouths, but then people got over it. It happens. No one's perfect. Whatever happens in the past. I'm just excited that Jim and ARG are going to be supporting Super. They bring a lot to the table when it comes to that. So they could have picked up, Final Fantasy, but guess what? They picked up Super. Shots fired, maybe. What do you think, Matt? Matt, what do you think?
I think that
Beep boop.
I think that it's a great thing for the community itself. When we were at the event at ARG during the player meeting, Jim kind of let me know that he talks to Bandai almost daily. So that was a really good sign. So it seems like he built a really good relationship with them. So I'm excited to see what they do to support the ARG events, as well as just to see how the ARG events play out. I know that the one we did in North Carolina for Raleigh was a really small scale and was kind of just let's just see how many people we can get for this thing, and it was not necessarily treated as something with prestige. But I definitely am excited to see how they handle their regional events going forward, and I think they will end up drawing a pretty large number of players, especially if they're really well advertised and the pricing scales really well.
Yeah, because there's even some things that I talk with with Bandera, but that I can't still talk about. It sucks. I hate. It's a privilege yet a curse. So and Jim and I have talked a few things, not in depth, but one of the things that since they're a Japanese company, I'm sure people know this. They don't like the whole paying cash out. So I'm sure Jim and company are going with a alternative method or trying to figure that out. And I'm sure that people are going to be taken care of. Like I said, my experience with ARG at first was lackluster. When I went back just to come and chill, I really enjoyed myself because at the end of the day, it comes out to seeing the people, talking to the community, seeing people you don't see, on a day by day basis. Like when I went to Gen Con, I saw you and I saw Max, I saw a few other people, and I was just like, you know what, this is actually kind of worth it because you're paying for this to come visit, between hotels and flights and meals and stuff, but it's the experience because you could be sharing a room with people. Some people like to cuddle up or spoon, but that's a different topic for another day. Or even go to the random White Castle at 2 a.m. It's all an experience. So I really enjoy that aspect of it. I'm really excited to see what ARG is going to bring to the table. Hopefully the West Coast is taken care of as well, because I don't think it'll be fair that if we got regionals and they're all on the East Coast. So with that being said, the club, right? God, I can't even pronounce that. I'm not even going to try. Because somebody tried.
Budokai?
Huh?
Budokai?
Budokai?
There we go.
Bukaki?
Got it. You're a master.
So it's interesting, right? Because they mentioned shop championships October 21st to the 29th. Bearded Collectibles signed up for that. In that championship, you get sleeves just like we got at Gen Con, and then you get certificates. So I mentioned this earlier, I believe at a different podcast. Like I said, it's our Welcome Back, We're Back podcast. They actually, in the video, release images of these certificates. It just says, congratulations for being top dog, pretty much. I hope they're nicely framed or have something more than just a piece of paper to give to first and second place. How do you guys feel about certificates that have, I guess, are bragging rights?
I don't like it.
You want it, so you're okay with next time you come into the shop, Tony, when you win something, to give you a little piece of paper saying thank you for being awesome?
No, I said I don't like it. I think it's awful.
Oh, okay.
We stopped getting certificates in the 5th grade.
Yeah, man. I'm going to give you a golden star next time you're in the shop.
What a golden Goku. Oh, I got
No.
one.
Max, what do you think?
Honestly, it's a nice change of pace, really. I mean, I've only played in 2 Bushiroad events in my life, and I was kind of blown away because I got second in it, and they gave me a little piece of paper, and they wrote my name on it physically while I was there. I was just the whole process of it blew me away, and it's just different. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like a little trophy is probably better for like our standards and tastes and gaudy lifestyles, but I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day. I mean, they put a little bit of time. They got that nice Zanzibar paper, and they spent their 35 cents to get it made. They sent it out here, and it's just, you gotta enjoy it.
So it's funny that you said that the 30. So I feel they need better logistics handling per se. So with the BCC battles, right? We're handing out the Bardock, stores are, so you can either sign up for 8 or 16 kits, 16 player kits, right? And I had to sign up for them for like a month or 2 in advance. So let's say I signed up for 8, right? You would think they will send me one package with all those promos, right? No, they sent me 8 kits from Japan, individuals.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So
Goodness.
I feel like logistics from that standpoint, like I don't know if it's. I don't know. I personally would think it'll be cheaper for them to just put it all into one and ship it out that way, than doing it the way they're currently doing. But hey, not my business, not my company. I appreciate the promos they hand out to players. So for the judge stuff, so Max, so I know that you've judged before for ARG for multiple events. Are you going to be applying for the judge program when it becomes available?
I intend to, yes. Like, now that Final Fantasy's over, I'm kind of switching gears into, like, Super, so it's time to kind of just bone up on all this stuff. But yeah, I fully intend to take on that mantle again and carry us off there for most of the, like, the lower East Coast events for Super.
So, but it's interesting because at the end of the Union Force video, which that's the next name for the second set, it says go online to the site and apply to become a judge. I've been around the site pretty much all day today trying to figure out where to apply to be a judge, and I've done some back-end searches as well. There's no place to become a judge just yet, so I need to let them know if that's what they really meant to say in the video or if it's coming. Where's the link? Because people are...
I'm assuming they just want to
People are
future-proof that. Because, I mean, like you're saying, there is no judge test. Or judge link.
Yeah, the judge program's actually coming in November, if I remember reading that correctly. There was a link somewhere that I found that said, hey, judges start in November.
It's not what the video says. The video says go now and apply.
Well, the event... obviously the video is messed up.
You mean the video came out too soon?
Yeah.
Okay.
They managed that hype, though. They got you the spoilers.
Yeah, so the spoilers were ridiculous. So, there's going to be a lot of clarifications required because I guess somebody asked a person there at Gen Con if Indestructible, they were able to, like, leave the battlefield. And I guess they said yes, but I guess another email said they couldn't. There's going to be a whole different ballpark of Q&As that's going to happen. So, guys, if you're on the Super page, don't be afraid to ask questions. I know we've had some bad seeds or people throwing people under the bus or saying read the rules. Do you forget about keyboard warriors? Ask a question. Don't be afraid. Don't let somebody intimidate you. If you have any issues, contact the Beard. The Beard will help you out. He will take care of you. But it's interesting because I'm circling back to the lottery events, right? I'm very interested to see how this lottery event's going to happen. Are they just going to randomly pick, all the stores to host them? Is some stores going to get one and not the other? Because the two lottery events, like I mentioned, was the pre-release and then the release event. And if I had a choice, I think I would want the release tournament versus the pre-release. Because the release tournament has much more flexibility to... get people involved because it caps at 128. The sneak peek event is sealed and it's pods of 4. So people thought, I had somebody ask when I posted this, it's only 4 players. Why would they do that? No, I'm pretty sure they meant to say pods of 4 because it's sealed event because every player gets 6 boosters, right? That makes sense, right, guys?
Yeah, is it being played like just sealed, or is it a draft?
It's sealed because it says must build a 41 card deck consisting of 40 battle cards and a leader card, so it's sealed.
So, I guess I'm not understanding why it's a pod of 4 if it's a sealed event.
Well, a box is 24 packs, so it's just chopping a box.
Fair.
Bingo. So, yeah, because the actual release event, I mean the trophy, the alt arts. So I'm happy they're starting to do alt arts, right? But they're going to be alt arts with a gold stamp. Hopefully, so I have an image here, and they have winner across them.
Okay.
We all know how much I love it when stuff says winner, especially when you come in 8th place, or Blackthorn when you come in 9th. But we won't go into that.
You mean
Yeah, that was last week. So how do you guys feel about alt arts in this game? I feel like all the promos, and I know Tony and I have discussed this, should have been alt arts. Now, I don't know how some of you guys feel about that. Max, let's start off with you. What do you think, man? Should promos in this game be alt arts? I know Final Fantasy started the first 3 promos as not alt arts, but they quickly changed that to alt arts. How do you feel about that?
Honestly, I don't have much of a problem with unique promos at a local end level, so long as there's not a limited supply like there was. But
There
even
still
so,
is, you mean?
yeah, basically, even going forward, a year from now, just saying hypothetically, if they still just did random watered down promos, but there was no supply issue, it'd probably be fine. I mean, I've never really liked an overabundance of alt arts because you start getting to a weird point that when you every time you hit a card that has any form of value and scarcity, and you alt art it, you're just killing anyone who has a set of those. It does more damage than it does help, in my opinion.
So the alt art images I see here is just the Vados, Piccolo, Trunks, and Dodoria, the ones that when you're that it's a 10k boost when you're at 4 life or less and draw a card. Mm-hmm. Those are for illustration purposes, so they may change. But Tony, how do you feel about those? That it is the 10k boost, but they're going to say winter cross them. They say gold stamped, so I'm assuming it's just like their promo code where it says coming soon and gold stamps.
I mean, I've never liked exclusive promos, be it a tournament pack, tournament prize, whatever. It's part of the reason I feel like Naruto went downhill. Same thing with Yu Yu Hakusho. And I know Yu-Gi-Oh! Did it. I don't know if they still do it, but they did it for a while, and that was just miserable. It ruins the secondary market. If you look at the promos we have now for Dragon Ball, I mean, I know it's mostly caused by supply and demand, but it's insane. Broly's still $70. And the card's not even
$100 on TCG.
Sure. Not okay. And you want to bring your friend to this game, and he loves Broly, and now he's like, oh, but the Broly I need is $100 each. That's part of the reason why, I mean, it's not promo, but Energy Spheres and Panini Z, that kept a lot of people from wanting to play, or even wanting to be competitive. I had to borrow spheres every time I went to a big event because I didn't want to buy them ever. I couldn't justify having a single card worth that much.
Yeah, and you usually would have to borrow them from me, so it would also hinder your deck choice, because if I played heroes, you couldn't play heroes, you had to play villains, and vice versa.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same concept here. If you want to borrow cards from your friend, either he plays Broly or you do, and it's not like it's a single that you need. You need 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys say, Matt?
I'm a huge fan of having unique promos, as Max said, if there's no supply issue and everyone has access to them. But I can say it felt pretty terrible at the ARG event where I played against a guy who won the tournament in the 3rd round and in top 4, and the single card that just made the matchup just completely tilting was just the Super Saiyan 3 promo that I didn't have access to, and he had 4 of them, so his deck was almost $600 worth of stuff. And so that just kind of just felt bad. So I could see being a brand new player coming into this game and being man, I really want to play. And then going to an event, getting crushed by some dude that has a $100 promo that you just can't afford. I just don't like the feel of that for anyone trying to get into the game. So I think you either have to get better at distributing those, or if you want to do alt arts, then I actually think you need to make those limited if you want to do alt arts, because you have to make them something that you want to chase, and that they're hard to get. But like I said, I'm cool with the idea of unique promos as long as everyone has access to them without getting price gouged to death.
Yeah, and I hope that they print those promos into oblivion like they should be doing. So Panini was really good at distributing promos, right? As a store, we would request them. A kit would come in. It would give us, I believe, it was 6 to 8 copies for top 2 to hand out, and over 50 entry promos. Not a big deal, right? I'm really having an issue with how the promos distribution set up in this game, because I was talking to Blackthorn about this. I believe that what I was doing. So if 30 people came in or 32 people came in for one of my tournaments, I was cracking 2 tournament kits, right? I felt like, because it's participation prizes, right? The promos are, and I felt like that was a luxury, like not an entitlement for people, because technically, promo kits, not like in Pansy they were free. For tournament kits and Super, they cost the store money, right? They're under $30. The point is, it costs the store money, so that's an issue. And I feel like they need to either not say that they're participation prizes. They need to say that they're either top 8 prizes, or hell, if they want to say top 16, sure, not a big deal, or give us a big box of promos to a store. Let a store buy one for $500-600, because I'll gladly do that. The issue is like, you guys nailed the nailed it on the head with the stores, right? Who currently, stores who don't support or have super games, they're opening it up and cracking them and selling them because there's so much value in there because of the artificial. It could be artificial, or it could be that they didn't plan on the amount of demand. But it's just crazy that, I see online when somebody posts, hey, I got 15 plus promos here, I have these for sale on my site, and I'm like, you cracked a kit. You had to crack a kit, or you had to crack a few kits. I don't know. Tony, what do you think about that, bud?
I mean, it's a fact. You can tell that some stores are doing that. And, I'm not saying it's a good thing, but I can see why they're doing it. It's literally free money. The amount of money you make off a tournament kit. We did the math, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago on one of the podcasts.
Yeah, it was like $700+.
Yeah, and that's assuming you just pulled the worst cards. You just pulled
Vados.
Yeah, straight Vados. You still get $30 off of Vados, and you paid $30 for the kit.
What do you think, Max?
I mean, unfortunately, it doesn't matter what game it is and what day and age you are, there's always going to be that guy out there who got that kit and is just ripping it apart. And that truly sucks. It sucks more because of the scarcity of all this here, but it's so hard to fight those issues and stop them, because once they get one kit and they start doing that, the damage is done. And then you somehow report them, and then that report has to go up to the channel to Bandai. And Bandai has to say something to the distributor, and you have 3 links to go through. And you don't know how many kits they get again after that. It's just the damage, it's terrible. It just really sucks that people get in positions where they can monopolize on that and take advantage of it.
So how do you feel with tournament kits being only not calling participation prizes, or only doing top 8? Because that's what I'm doing here at Bearded, and that's what multiple stores in the nation are doing because the scarce of these kits. How do you feel about that? Instead of being participation prizes.
That's perfectly fine, honestly, because at some point you run into a supply and demand issue. I mean, you get 30 people, you can't realistically stand to give out 30 promos to everyone per tournament, keep this thing going. So you got to do what's longevity based for you. And I think that's fine. I think it could just be a syntax issue with, Japan essentially, just saying participation, because again, they probably underestimated how crazy this was going to go, and they probably just assumed that you're going to have a 10-person local, and it's at that point it's a wash.
Yep. Josh, as another local, how do you feel? How you come to my store? I tell you that it's only top 8. Does that make you not want to play?
I mean, not really. I mean, I come there. I drive an hour out of my way to get there. You
just want to see my beard, don't lie.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It's all about the beard. No, I mean, if I didn't work out there already and my other guys didn't want to just go out there because, the tournament scene out there is actually solid as opposed to our locals where, I mean, we just fired a 6-man tournament yesterday and that went over, But, I mean, when I go to the Beard, I can at least expect some good competition, some fun matches, fun people to hang around for the most part. So,
some beards.
It's one of those things where I'm going to come no matter what for the play, and just I happen to be decent enough to top.
That's true. That's true. Matt, Coombs. Oh, I'm sorry, Josh. Did you have anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah. I mean, that all being said, again, they say participation on the site, and that really, it's just one of those things that has me a little bit off. Like, as you were saying, earlier you said something about it feeling like participation. They want it to be a limited spot of people that come to these events, and that's no way to handle a game either. It just kills the potential player base.
Exactly, and Tony and I have talked about this. Since in a tournament kit, it comes with 2 play mats and 16 promos. It sounded like they wanted to do, that technically holds for 2 tournaments, but I think that can no longer be the case because everything says winner nowadays. Like I feel like they're using winner incorrectly and they're using participation incorrectly. So, but I'm not in the department. I don't work for Bandai. I would love to. Wink, wink. So, hey, I'm trying to get some sponsorship, all right? Matt, what do you think, bud?
For using essentially the tournament packs for just like Top Cut prizes only?
Sure.
Yeah, I actually think that is probably the best thing to do at this point. I like having incentive for placing really well, and I like just scaling down your prizing to where it's like the most desirable items should go to the top. Just for now, until tournament kits are being distributed properly, where if they want them to be participation prizes, then you should make enough kits so that you can give them out for participation. But if you're only getting 16, you have to make that last over the course of weeks and months. So I mean, if you give out 4 per event, so to top 4, that at least get you through 1 tournament a week. And then depending on how much you're charging for entry, are you doing like $5 per entry, Allek?
$6.
$6. How many people usually show up on average? Like 20 to 30?
Yep.
Okay, so you're more than enough paying for your kit. You could easily then, if you wanted to do prize packs for people instead.
Well, no. So people get 2 packs per. So 2 packs per pot get thrown. Two packs per player get thrown into the pot, and then that payout goes out to top 8.
Yeah, I mean, I would maybe scale that payout like down further past top 8, and then just have your top 4 get the promo packs plus like a smaller amount of packs, because I think you're getting the heavier reward of actually getting the promo packs as opposed to opening boosters. So
then, how would you feel then? Let's say they print these into Oblivion, right? They print the tournament kits into Oblivion. A store still has to buy them. If 40 people show up, how many kits should I open? How many kits should a store open?
I would only do it for I would say maybe the max I would do is for your top cut, like only. So if you like do top 16, I would only give out 16. Unless you're doing like full on participation. Like if you're doing full on participation, then you either have to raise your entry price to make it like 100% worth it, or just keep it scaled down.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at. Like, it's stuff that I thought about, guys. If you guys think running a car shop is easy, is all fun and just opening packs and selling stuff, Tony can attest to this. It is not that easy. It is so much work on the back end, and I know everybody on this chat right now have been around a car shop. It is a lot more difficult than people think it is. Sometimes I've questioned myself, why am I doing this again? And then I'm just, it's a different mindset you have to be in. The amount of stuff you have to answer on a day-to-day basis, the amount of messages, emails I have to go through on a day-to-day basis. I was very happy when I disconnected and was in Vegas and didn't answer emails and phone calls or anything like that. I had one angry person actually sent me an email saying that he's been trying to contact me, but I haven't replied back to his email. And I was, in bed, email popped up and I looked at it. He was like, well, why hasn't my order shipped out yet? Well, when you order stuff from Bearded, if one item comes out first and then you got other items that are not released yet, your order's not going to ship until everything becomes available. I'm not Amazon, I'm not GameStop, I'm not any big retailer that can afford to be shipping you a package every time your item comes available. That's why I ask people when they place an order to make separate orders for those products. And yes, it's listed on every single pre-order item there is on my site. So people are just not reading. I mean, it just happens. It's very unfortunate, but it is what it is. So I'm just very very happy I was able to disconnect from that. In reference to the going back to the kits again, I just hope that they or a Chinese restaurant. I'm just happy that so you guys have seen what a Final Fantasy inner case looks like, right?
I have not.
Mm-mm.
So it's kind of like a think about you know what a car hotel looks like, right? You know, it's 4 across, 3 down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
think of half of that. That to me kind of looks like a Final Fantasy box. They had one full of the green pack promos at Gen Con. I want something like that. If I get something like that, then I'll be more happy to do participation prizes. Until then, there'll be Top Cup prizes. And Matt, I actually like your idea of once they become, or even now, like, you know, I can, make that price payout go down further from top 16 or top 8 because you're right. Then it's very top heavy.
Yeah, and you want people. I mean, you just want. I like the satisfaction of like when I get to Top Cut that my prize is different and it's distinguished. Like, and I want that satisfaction because, of course, like any person that makes Top Cut always gets an ego boost. And the fact that it's like, I got a promo pack and all you got were some packs. Like, I don't need packs. Like, it just, I don't know, gives a different, unique feel, and then makes that person that like comes to your shop every week that really wants to get promos. It just makes them continue to get better at the game, which of course continues having them going to your shop. So, I think that's a cool thing to do.
So, go ahead.
Unfortunately, by that same token, like, hey, this, I think you used the word Billy is the kid that's going
Billy.
to start playing the game, or what was
It's
your
Billy.
hypothetical player?
Billy.
Yeah, Billy. So Billy wants to come to the shop and learn how to play Dragon Ball Super, but he's never going to be able to top now because you can't get a promo
But I mean,
to
it,
improve
like,
his deck.
I mean, I don't think that all promos in general increase the quality of your deck by like a ton. Like, I think. Yeah.
That's also the whole point of the
for
local
sure,
too.
but like,
It's like you want to piggyback off others. It's supposed to be a collective experience. It's not an every man for himself experience. I expect that also to be the case of Bearded Collectibles. I'm sure it's a fun-loving community that wants to help each other. Just like, I mean, you both mentioned getting spears from each other. They're like, hundo a pop. I mean, that's no different. If you can just find someone you can get a set of spears from, then realistically, little Billy should be able to get his Vitos for his Chinese deck.
Yeah, but then it goes back to Tony. It goes back to Tony's argument about, that these should have been, and I 100% agree with him, it should have been alt arts versus, just straight up different cards.
right. One of the other things that, just low-key, you could have, like, these are early previews of the next set is what could have happened with this. Like, okay, you can get these early to use now, but then when the next set drops, these are in that set, and you can get them in that set. That would have been another nice option for this game.
Yeah.
It would have been nice, and I agree with you on that, but they're not doing that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I really,
But I mean, at that point, those
I
cards
really want
basically
them to
become
go because I know that they're
fortune
trying to get more products on the shelf. Like, even if they started to take the lines that Pokemon did with the 10s and having those special cards included in 10s, like whether if they were like 1 or 2 sets down the road, I think doing something like that will just help product fly off the shelves at the retailers, and also again give access to those, like give people access to those promos that they couldn't have before. Like, so I mean, it's another way for them to be smart about making money.
Well, one of the things that I know Tony's excited about, and Tony, correct me if I'm wrong, but the draft boxes, right? The draft boxes are still available right now on pre-order at Bearded Collectibles. So it comes with 24 packs, 12 packs from the first set, 12 packs from the second set, 4 different leaders, and I'm assuming, you can pick. We don't know just yet if it's 4. So it's 4 different leaders, but we don't know if it's going to be one of each in each draft box or the same, and there's 4 different variants. and then there's going to be one of those promo packs in there. And Tony, I know how much you love draft. You're excited for this, right?
I mean, I love draft, but it just sounds like more like things I have to buy for exclusive things. Like if those leaders are only in that draft box, that would mean. I mean, I guess I could just draft, which is fine. But they're also doing the heroes and villain kits, which are more things I have to buy to have play sets of things. I don't like that.
What do you guys think? What about Matt? What do you think about that?
If it's if it's exclusivity, like I'm not a. The thing is, from a player perspective, I'm not a big fan of the exclusivity. But then again, I do enjoy draft formats, so I'll probably end up spending my money on it regardless. And I think it's cool that they're going out and making that. From a business perspective, I think it's flipping genius. Like, it's another way to sell your product. It's another way to move first set along with the newest set. It creates a potential format for you to have down the road for all your competitive events, so people will start buying more packs so they can practice for those events. And again, exclusive product means people are going to buy it because they need those cards. Luckily, if those things hopefully are in high production, that if they do have exclusive cards, you'll be able to, you'll be able to pick those up. But I mean, I'm torn because as a person, I want those things.
I know.
But
It seems like we lost Matt
I understand
again.
why it is the way it is.
So here's a question I have then for everybody. So the draft box is $100, right? Who gets to keep the box afterwards? Because it looks like a pretty cool deck box.
Winner keeps the box, obviously.
Oh, is that how we're doing it? No roll-offs?
Yeah, no. Winner keeps the box.
Do you want to get a game loss for trying to roll the tournament outcome?
Kiss my ass?
I mean, going back to the draft box, how many of the promos are coming in the box? Is it just one?
One.
That in the. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the draft boxes are like $100 flat out, right?
It is.
Yeah, that.
I mean, there's also 24 packs though. There's also 24 packs.
Yeah. But I mean, just one promo feels.
Cash grab. Catch a grab.
Yeah, cash
Look at
grab.
that. Go on, get that cash.
I feel like there's value in there, so.
I mean,
yeah.
It's like if you included 4, one for each player, quote unquote.
What's the point of doing drafts then?
As a part of the thing, you get the, I don't know. It's one of those things like maybe 5, one for each player, and then the next one for the winner.
Then they will
like $250,000.
They'll be flying off my pre-order list right now. It's crazy. Like, so far, Beard has sold over 100 of those boxes. So we will see. We will see, guys. So we're already at a minute 12, minute 13. I guess, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. Tony, do you got any final remarks for this podcast?
Not this time. We covered a lot today.
I know. Max, what about you, bud?
I got 2 things to say. If you care about Dragon Ball Super and you want this game to go places and you live in this area and you can support the Beard, you need to be at ARG Orlando at the Osceola Heritage National Park. It's very imperative that we have a good showing there. Beyond that, play Meta X.
Oh my God!
No.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Max is banned for a week. Josh, final words.
Man, I'm just disappointed to talk about the Trunks package yet. Maybe next time.
Maybe next time. Did you top this week?
I did. I was 4th place.
Oh. Well then, maybe next week.
Maybe next
Matt, any final words with your connectivity?
Nope.
Final words. I appreciate being brought on for this podcast, even though I couldn't contribute much. But but I hope to be on in the future and not have the same issues. I'm really excited about the ARG tournaments and about those ramping up. I think Set 2 is going to be amazing for this game. I think Swiss Best of 1 with Top Cut Best of 3 is the proper format right now for the game. And that's my final thought.
You sure you don't want to talk on one of the 10 threads that are on the group about that?
Yeah, I mean,
Dude, those threads are littered with good information, so you should read them.
you should really.
All of them. Read them with your spinner.
That's what I do all day. Fidget spin and read those threads.
Well, guys, again, thank you for listening. This is a Beard, Allek. Remember, guys, support your LGSs. If you can't support your LGSs, support the Beard. BeardedCollectibles.com is where you can pre-order all the new Dragon Ball stuff, all the new Final Fantasy stuff when I get my numbers, and even some Meta X stuff. I know it's crazy, but you can do all the pre-orders on there. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. As always, guys, Beard loves you. Have a good one. Good night.